Hi everyone. So yeah, we're stuck in Colorado. There's a snowstorm out there, and we're stuck anyways because of the coronavirus. And a lot of the conversations I've had with clients, mostly virtually, mostly online, has been about how to keep our sanity and how to make the best of this time. And I think in situations like this, we have two options. I mean, obviously, we can stay glued to the TV, panicking, which, full disclosure, I am definitely very, very capable of doing. Or we can start using this time and focusing on how to get out of it better than who we were when it all started. And I was having a conversation with a client this morning, and he was saying how this is essentially an opportunity to rewrite the script, and he's correct. And then I made the link to another client of mine who has been battling cancer, and the conversation that she and I have had numerous times is that the person that's going to walk out of cancer, who's going to walk out cancer-free, is not the same person who walked in when she was diagnosed. And so this is the great opportunity, if there is one, is that these kind of circumstances really provide us for a perfect stage to reconsider our lives, to reconsider our relationships, to reconsider our work, and whether or not we are happy and satisfied with what we do for a living, to figure out whether or not our lives has the right purpose, the right meaning for us, and how to transform it if it doesn't. Speaking personally, this has definitely brought to my attention that I would love to have more online presence, and I would love to have more clients who want to work online, because being forced to do it, I realized that I think I can do really great work online, and I don't know that being face-to-face is absolutely necessary for, coaching, therapy, service industry, and so having no choice, I've been trying it and really enjoying it, and realizing that for a lot of us who only serve a very small portion of the population because we're in our little area, there's a lot of clients that we could serve that are not right there available with us, but we're nowhere to be found for them. They don't know that we exist. So we're doing them a disfavor, and we're doing ourselves a disfavor. I've been doing myself a disfavor by maybe not trying to branch out in ways that are slightly out of my comfort zone. So this is my invitation to you, is to figure out what matters to you, and how do you want to change your life, and how do you want to change your relationship, and how do you want to change your mindset, your perspective during this time. Some of us are really busy. Like if you are working online or you're working in the healthcare industry, then maybe you're very busy and this is not the right time for you to reinvent yourself and try to revive your life and shuffle things around. But for a lot of us, we're just stuck at home with nothing much to do, and we have a choice. We can worry, or we can actually use this time for something positive and make sure that when the world comes back online, so to speak, that we have a better world than what we had before, and we have a better life than what we had before. So, when I talk with clients about how to create an amazing life, how to transform our lives, oftentimes I talk about 6 different steps: clarity, calm, connect, confidence, and create, and courage. I think that's 6. Clarity, calm, connect, confidence, become a creator, create, and courage. So clarity is about, I don't think we can change every area of our lives. I think there's a lot of us, by the way, who get nowhere because we try to do too much. So what I would recommend, if you want to use this time in your life to start reshuffling things and reinventing yourself and reinventing your life, rather than trying to change everything all at once, I would pick an area of focus. So get clear, the clarity of what is it in your life that most feels inauthentic, most feels like you took a wrong turn somewhere, most feels like a letdown to you, and focus on that. Maybe it's your health and exercising, maybe it's your social connections, maybe it's your work, maybe it's your prosperity, how much money you've got in the bank, and your financial habits. Maybe it's self-growth, maybe it's your spirituality that you've totally forgotten about. There's a number of different ways that we can look at that. Pick an area of your life, pick something in your life that maybe you've been meaning to put some energy into and just haven't found the time. And just stick with that. And then you can repeat this process with the next thing once you've figured out one area of your life. The next step is to find your calm space. So in this case, to be the calm in the storm. I don't think that we can really transform and change our lives if we're continuously in reactivity. So I think it's absolutely important to relax. It's absolutely important to open, to expand. There's nothing that can come into us, that's nothing that can come out of us that is good if we're extremely constricted, if we're stressed out, if we're anxious. So before you can try to create anything, you have to calm yourself. You have to just find a space within where you can be centered and grounded, and where you can have even a tiny bit of trust that things are going to work out and you don't need to freak out. So once you have your clarity into the area of your life, you have the calm, then connect. And when I lead people to connect, there's a number of different ways we can connect. But for me, it's connect to your resources, connect to your resilience, connect to your own innate wisdom. So oftentimes, the way I work with people is to connect to, I like to call it the inner well of wisdom, or your inner genius. Some people call it the inner genie or your inner guru, whatever you want to call it. Just this part of us. Some people call it your higher self, your soul. So I think we all have an ability to connect to some part of us that just knows the answers, knows what makes most sense for us, knows what makes more sense for our lives. And usually that part of us is wise, it is loving, it is compassionate, it is patient, it has a sort of uplifting, bright energy to it. So that's the first step, is connect to your own wisdom. Oftentimes we have our own answers. We don't need somebody else to tell us what to do. If we get calm, if we get clear and we check in, oftentimes we have the answers. What I would recommend you do is get a piece of paper, get a pen, and literally ask a question. What's my first right step? How to calm down? Any question you have about whatever area you want to change, and write down the first thing that comes to mind. And it might be a sense, it might literally be, you might hear it as a thought. Don't question it too much. Whatever comes to you in that moment, write it down. And the more you do that, the clearer you'll get as to how to feel into that inner resource. Then there's different ways to be connected and to connect. You could connect to people. For a lot of us, if we want to grow, like for me, if I'm thinking I want to grow my business, I want to do something different, then, I need to be willing to connect. I need to be willing to step out. I need to be willing to ask people for support and for help, for feedback, so that I can grow. So connect is also, it's not just connecting within, but it's connecting to all the resources you could have around you and outside of you. And one of the ways you can do is literally you can sit with your inner well of wisdom, with your inner genius, and be like, What are my resources? To whom could I reach out? And start making a list. Start, like you'll have ideas. Facebook Lives, making a video, connecting to this person you haven't talked to in a long time. Getting back on LinkedIn and changing your profile, whatever it may be. Starting a Facebook group. It doesn't matter. There's all sorts of different ways to get out there and to connect to the world. And then the third level of connection is connecting to source. If you're spiritual, I think there's just a lot of support around us. Like, you don't have to think about breathing. You don't have to think about getting your immune system to fight a virus. If you get it, your immune system's going to start fighting all on its own. If I had to try to maintain my body and keep myself alive, I'd be dead within minutes, for sure. Between digesting, heart beating, breathing, it might be seconds, actually, now that I think about it. So this life has a lot of intelligence, and being able to tap into it, being able to ask for support, whether it is from source, from your ancestors, from your guides, whatever you believe in, be willing, have the courage to connect out and ask for help. Even if you don't quite believe in all of this. Sometimes when we're at wit's ends, that's when we're willing to step out of whatever belief system we have and give the mystery a chance and ask for help. So I would definitely encourage you to connect and ask for help at all levels, inwardly, outwardly, and in the mystery. And then there's confidence. So once we are calm and clear and we're connected, then we need to remove all the blocks we have in place that keep us from being able to confidently move towards our goal. So most of us have all sorts of stories, all sorts of beliefs, all sorts of wounds about not being good enough, about it's always for other people but not for us. I can't do it. Unworthiness. I'm not supposed to. I don't have anything to offer. Whatever your thing is, and we all have it. I was talking to somebody about the wound of invisibility. No matter what they do, they can't seem to feel seen or met by anyone. And I think that can show up in every area of our lives. In work, in always being passed over for any kind of bonus or any kind of promotion. In love, it's always never being seen or appreciated for everything we do. It doesn't matter which area of your life. You're going to have a wound, you're going to have a block, you're going to have something in you, a story, a belief, a wound that keeps you stuck, that keeps you locked up, that keeps you confused, constricted, and you can't go anywhere if you don't address that. So that's your next step, is one, to clarify, like, what is in my way? And two, what do I need to do to be free of this, to heal it, to unlock it, to release it? And, that's where you have the connection. You are already connected if you're going, in these steps, these keys. So ask your inner well of wisdom, ask your inner genius, ask for help to a support system, whether that is a therapist, an intuitive healer, a meditation teacher, or a best friend. Ask for help to the mystery, to your guides, to your ancestors, to help you release some of these wounds and see what happens. So once you found your confidence, your boldness, then you have to get creative. You have to step into your inner creator. You have to get clear as to what is your vision. Like, if you could have everything you wanted in this one area of your life that you're fixing, what would that look like? What will you create? Feel it, see it, taste it, get really clear. Like, you can't figure out where you're going or how to get there if you don't know what it looks like and you don't know where it is. So, I could do a whole, and I probably will do a whole video on each of those, but getting really creative, we need vision before. There's nothing that's been created out there in the world, I'll say it this way, anywhere from a table to a business to a relationship that wasn't at some point or another created as a vision first. So get creative, start calling for, start really connecting to the energy of what it is that you want to change or transform in your life. What would it look like? How would you feel if it was transformed? And just really start getting into it and moving towards it. And then the last step is courage. Once you have all these other steps in place, you have a vision, you feel confident and unlocked, you are connected to wisdom and resources and resilience, you're calm and you're clear about what you want, then you can have all of those things. If you don't do anything different, if you don't step out of your comfort zone, then nothing changes. So the courage is the action plan. Once you have all these other things in place, you have to start moving towards. You have to start getting out of your cocoon. You have to get uncomfortable and get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because that's how change happens. These videos, these Facebook lives, that's kind of my path right now. That's what I'm working on. They're extremely uncomfortable for me, and yet here I am. And I'm not doing it perfect. By the way, that's another confidence. I have to be perfect, or I have to do things perfect before I can, move forward. Bullshit. If we all waited to be perfect, if I waited to be perfect, I would never have a single video out there. I don't think, it doesn't matter how many damn videos I put out there, I don't think I'll ever end up being fully satisfied with the way I look, what I sound. Oh, I forgot to say this, or I shouldn't have said that, or I forgot that word, or I pronounced that word wrong. There's always going to be things. My husband yesterday was like, hey babe, maybe you should have me read over before you post something, because I just saw a spelling mistake. And I was like, oh my God, and I went over and I deleted my post, and it was a picture with something written on it, and I redid it and reposted it. We're human. There's no such thing as perfection. So embrace being human and find your courage to be bold, to be bright, regardless of the fact that you're human, and you're not going to get it all correct all the time, and you're not going to be perfect, because you can't. There's no such thing as perfection on this plane, at the very least. So those are my thoughts. I hope they're helpful. I'm sending you love and light in this very weird, difficult times, and my challenge to you, my invitation to you is, make the best of this. Find a way to make this a really fruitful, maybe positive is a big word, but a fruitful time in your life, and to look at it like a lot of people who go through some major illness or a major accident look at it. This is an opportunity to reinvent, to rewrite the script, as my client would say, and to just come out the other side just a bigger, brighter, bolder version of yourself. All right. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.